Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today is my Metcon, also known as Metabolic Conditioning or General Physical Preparedness Day, and I'm going to try to do 3 of these on camera a week for you guys. And I'm at a point now to where, because I'm just doing tons and tons of chin-ups in between, I'm really only going to do 3 Metcon workouts every week. And I feel like because of my higher training volumes, that's going to be fine. My overall accessory volumes are way up on all my normal training days. I'm trying to do 100 chin-ups every day. So I think 3 conditioning workouts is definitely enough for now. It's going to keep me moving forward. And it's still a lot of calories burned through the week. So I decided to do a little different today. You guys are noticing a change up. I decided to do what looked like an interesting thing for me using pure body weight. I look at like what the CrossFit workout Cindy is called and what they do. And I realize it's not totally suitable for me because air squats are actually bad. I would never have a lifter do air squats for any reason ever, even for conditioning, because they teach you a bad movement pattern. And there's no work. It's like I would get tired of them because you guys have seen me do one-legged step-ups weighing 220. I've done sets of 30 on these before on camera with body weight. And I do them with a barbell for sets of 10. So there's no work at all there. Like an air squat's a complete waste of time. But what they normally do, they try to work within 20 minutes of doing 5 chin-ups, 10 push-ups, 10 air squats. And they repeat the cycle as many times as they can inside of a 20-minute timer. I decided, let me try to do that, but with 10 step-ups per leg, because they're more challenging and they're closer to my level, because we know I can do 30 of these per leg. So 10 in a rotation isn't a bad way to go if I don't take breaks, right? No breaks. And then do 5 glute ham raises. Now doing 10 of those in a rotation with short breaks might be really hard. Right. I mean, I can do about 15 GHRs, but doing multiple sets of 10s with short breaks, that could really start cramping my hammies up. So I decided, let me do it that way. Let me do 5. So I would do 5 chin-ups, 10 push-ups, 10 step-ups per leg onto my 20-inch box, and then 5 glute ham raises, because that's pretty similar like to the chin-up, right? And then repeat the cycle with no breaks. And I wanted to see how many I could do before I started getting out of breath. And the thing to keep in mind, my GoPro sometimes will shut off at around 14 or 15 minutes, so I didn't want it to go quite to that far. So just continuously, it took me just over 10 minutes to do 4 full rounds of this, nonstop. So these were with no real breaks, obviously, other than to move your camera, walk around. So in my first little block, it ended up being 4 rounds. So it ended up being, with no breaks, 20 chin-ups, 40 push-ups, 40 step-ups on each leg, and 20 glute ham raises, right, just in a circuit training. And I started getting a little out of breath. I'm not going to lie, I was a little tired. I turned the camera off because also, again, I needed it to not do that. Ran over, put it on my computer. So between those 2 rounds, it took me about 2 minutes because I wanted to see what I could do inside of 20. Because it took 2 minutes roughly for me to put the file onto my computer, just saw it briefly, saw it was about 10 minutes, ran over, plugged the camera back in, and did the next round. I only got through 3 rounds, and then I started just really getting out of breath. You guys will notice by the time we get there around 17, 18 minutes in, you guys can tell I'm getting pretty tired. It is that lactic acid buildup. It's the conditioning. This is challenging. Like, this was actually fairly hard. And by fairly hard, meaning it challenged me. It challenged me metabolically, challenged me cardiovascularly. Because I'm not a small guy. I mean, I'm weighing 220 while wearing work boots on top of it. So it's a lot of weight to be moving around for all that. I feel like this is good. Like if people were to say, what's a really easy Metcon that you could do? Not easy as in easy to complete, but easy to set up. This works great. And I'm not going to lie, I felt it challenged me. This actually challenged me, legitimately challenged me. And I feel like it really gives some good conditioning. I want to mess with this one for a little while, play off of this variation. I feel like it brings a lot to the table. Now, here's the other thing. I always deal with, and by the way, people don't always see it because I just ban more on trolls. I don't have time for trolls anymore. I just ban them. I don't bother to respond to them, and they pull this. Why do you always wear your belt? Why do you suck your gut in? It's like, all right, guys. You guys have seen the inside of my guts with a DEXA scan. Okay, that's as transparent as you can be. I actually provably medically do not have what you would think of as a gut. I have less gut than most bodybuilders. Okay, I don't have fat around my organs. My fat's under the skin. You can't suck that in. I can't suck in that fat stuck to all the loose skin, right? All you can do is burn it. Now, what people need to understand though, and that's all hanging, you guys can see all of that, but it has reduced over time. So we're making progress. Like, I don't even mind people seeing it on these and showing it because the progress is evident. Like, it's very obvious that I've lost, because I'm wearing the small running shorts. You can't hide much. Lost a lot of body fat still. Even this year, even though I've recomped and stayed at 220-ish, like, the body fat's been coming down, and we can see where all of it is now, right? Because I don't have a lot of clothes on. I can't really hide it. It's there. So what do we know about loose skin? And this is going to be valuable for a lot of people. People say, why talk about this? Well, because this is educational, right? If we're going to talk about fitness and people care about these things, a lot of you do care. There's a lot of people out there who need to lose another 50 pounds of fat, right? A lot of people, a lot of my followers, a lot of strong people still need to get leaner. Okay. What is loose skin? It's not just skin, because you can see through skin. I am of the saltine American persuasion. It means I don't have much melanin in my skin, right? I think we all understand how that works. It means my skin is relatively transparent. That's what that means, right? Sunlight goes through it easy. You can see through skin. Okay. If it's just skin, you'd be able to pull it away and it would look almost like pink colored saran wrap. That's what it would look like. So when you're seeing is that as we lose body fat, the skin tends to pull away because we lose some of the connective tissue holding it to the muscles and stuff underneath. And so as the skin gets looser, the body fat you have left tends to accumulate there because it's what you haven't burned off. And so you're going to see a disproportionate, once you've lost significant amounts of body fat, right? I'm not talking about 20 pounds here, guys. I lost 100 pounds of body fat. I've lost 100 pounds of body fat. There is going to be some loose skin associated with that. I have had a waist that was over 44 inches. Okay? I have had over a 44-inch waist. I don't know how big, but I know it was at least 44 at one time. So, and I'm sitting on right now, I wear a 32-inch waist relaxed fit jeans. That's what I wear. That's what I put on. And those don't hug tight. They're fairly loose around the waist. Like, I can put a Glock in there in a holster. So that's a substantial change in waistline. So there's going to be some loose skin. And what you see is that's where the fat you have left tends to accumulate. So it tends to be a little disproportionate. You're not going to have a normal fat proportion as a result of that. Right? So that's what we're seeing. We are seeing my body fat that I have remaining kind of stuck to what's left of that loose skin. And the only way it really tightens up is to continue to burn that fat away. Now, people will say, well, you know, it'll never get fully tight. Well, that's not true. You have to get dramatically leaner, right? And I have just simply not gotten lean enough for it to tighten further up. But when you look at it, look at that compared to, 6 months ago, 8 months ago. Right, other stuff we've seen. I've seen myself more on camera in the mirror than you guys have, obviously. It's getting less, right? Even the low back area, all of that, it is slowly coming down. So with the loss of body fat, we are seeing it tightening up over time. It's a slow process. And people say, why don't you just do a quick cut? Because guys, I care about my strength and muscle. Okay, I'm not as concerned with the physique as a lot of people are. I'm sorry, it's just not my bag. I care about my performance and fitness more than anything. So it's going to be a slow process, but it is happening, right? And we are seeing it. I mean, obviously at this point we can see visible abdominal there. Do I have a ripped six-pack? Of course not. Of course not. And we can see the fat stuck to the loose skin on the lower abs still. See the fat stuck to the love handle area still inside the loose skin and the flank area. But it's actually shrinking. And that's the beauty of it. I'm just shrinking it through sheer work and a clean diet. Because it's not caloric deficit. Because I'm not losing weight. I'm recompositioning. But, things happen with that. When you start doing really, really, really high workloads and you protein overfeed, even on high calories like I'm doing, if you're not gaining weight, you just tend to recomposition and magical things happen with good training. But it's going to keep improving. And at this point, we're just going to see the improvement. And I think that's another reason for, especially this Metcon stuff, because I don't need a belt for this. People forget that. They think that I'm wearing the belt on the other stuff somehow to hide this. No, I'm wearing it because the belt actually has benefits for the lifts I'm doing. Right? If I'm trying to maximize neuromuscular efficiency on a lot of lifts where I can brace the core, I'm going to use a belt to do so. It's not useful here, so we take it off. And this is going to give us a good way to watch this. For the people who want to see this stuff happening in real time, right? We want to see it happening in real time. These are all dated. These are dated. So they've got dates. You guys can see it, and we can kind of watch the process. It's being documented here on the channel, and we can watch what happens with the fat there and the loose skin, just drawn out over weeks, over months. And I think it's a valuable documenting tool. Notice I'm talking less about why we do Metcon in this one, because I just thought this was a worthwhile topic. I'm going to ramble on a lot of these, because guys, these are like 20 minutes of conditioning work. And it's not very complicated. There's no real specific programming to talk about, so we're going to talk about the other stuff. But it's relevant, and I think, you know, honestly, I think that will be useful to a lot of people. Because, yeah, I'm not worried about always the skinny guys who need to get bigger who are watching. You guys, it's easy, man. You guys need to drink whole milk, and you need to train really heavy with a lot of volume, okay? You guys need to get on a good program, and you need to get brutally strong, and you need to lift heavy weights for as much volume as you can recover from. And I have programs, I have methodologies, and you need to be pounding down milk. That's what you guys need to do. And I mean whole milk. That's the skinny guys need to do. Okay. You guys are easy. In fact, I have clients who are undereaters who I have to overfeed like that. I got a client who I have to overfeed like that, and he's way, way, way leaner than me. Like when we joke that I have an outline of ab, he's got deep six-pack. And I've got him on 4,000 calories. And he hasn't lost any of the deepness in his six-pack. It's just still there. So, you know, those guys are different. A lot of people out there who are trying to get leaner, though, I think this is a good process to watch, because you guys are watching how I'm recomping. You know, a lot of these strategies would be real helpful for you guys. Whole food diets, protein overfeeding, strength-based training, but doing the Metcon work with it, right? Works pretty well. Can be very, very effective for body composition. And, you know, that's what you're seeing for me. I'm an advanced lifter. I mean, I squat over 500 pounds, guys. I'm not exactly a noob. I'm not going to see noob gains. So you take these same programs, the same idea, and you take someone who has less muscle, a lot less muscle than me, and more fat. Do you think it's going to work for them too? The same concept that you guys are watching me recomp with. What about a late novice lifter who's overweight? Do you think it's going to work for them? Don't you think it's going to be dramatically better for them? Now, of course, I get people in here like, Jason, you're recomping at 220 advanced lifter using that there Celtec. How much trend are you on? My God. I wouldn't be doing this conditioning work on trend, first of all. Yeah, that's not realistic. So over to the point with that. Whatever you think the scenario is there, step back and assess the fact that a novice lifter is going to be able to, or even an early intermediate, they're going to gain muscle faster than I'm gaining. Okay, no matter how you you spin it, whatever your theory is on that, they're going to have a big advantage there in terms of that. And if they can have an advantage with that, they could use a system like this to recomp. All right, they can use systems like this to recomp. It's valuable. This is extremely valuable for the skinny fat guy. Or even the guy who's not skinny fat. He's gained some muscle, but he's still a little tubby. Right? You guys know who I'm talking about. A lot of you are listening are in that category. You know who you are. This will work for you. Okay? What you guys see me doing, if you're way less advanced than me, especially if you've got 25 pounds less muscle than me and you have more fat than me, think about that and doing the same sort of stuff, coming in and doing a couple of Metcon sessions every week, along with a really good strength program, and pounding down a bunch of animal protein, right? Yeah, exactly. You guys could be doing the steak and broccoli diet. Doing this, or the steak and potatoes if you need a little more carbs. You do the steak and potatoes diet. Or the chicken wings and milk diet, right? Get that protons in. Lots of vegetables, but protein overfeeding. Animal source protein. Get your dairy in. Cut all the refined garbage out. Cut all the refined sugar out. All the oils out. The other thing, man, you guys talking about recompositioning, you want to consume oils. Like, you have lost your damn mind. Okay, I'm not talking about the skinny guys. If you guys need to drink canola oil or coconut oil, I guess do what you have to do. I would rather you drink milk. But those of you guys, like, you're like me, you struggle with body fat. Yeah, you're going to add oils to your diet. You're going to add butter to your diet. You have lost your mind. Those are refined fats. Eat whole foods, okay? Cut all that crap out of your diet. Load up on the animal proteins. Load up on the refined, drop the refined foods, eat lots of vegetables. Okay, protein overfeed. Don't be afraid to go over 200 grams of protein a day. Of animal source protein. Strength train. Metabolic conditioning. Do some Metcon work like this. On a real strength program. Do this in between. And come back and tell me you don't recomposition. Tell me you guys who are over 20% body fat, who are still only squatting 275. Tell me you don't recomp like crazy when you do this. If you were to do something like what I do, come in and do real strength training. Fairly high volume strength training. Great, you get to eat more food. Because I know you fat guys, the last thing you want to do is eat more food. Yeah, right. You guys tell me that crap. I don't eat that much, Jason. Yeah, you like food. If you didn't like food, you wouldn't be fat like I have been. Okay, let's be honest about it. You're not eating 2,200 calories. So yeah, more training volume. Man, you get to eat more food, and you get to eat more protein. Tell me this won't work. Come do it for 6 months. Do it for 6 months. Do what I'm doing. Come in and do some Metcon like this a couple days a week between a serious, fairly high volume strength training program. If you're a guy who's not an advanced lifter yet and you're 20+% body fat, you will melt body fat off. Especially with the Metcon work with the protein overfeeding. I'm not talking about just coming in and doing your strength training. Do any proven strength training program that has a reasonable amount of volume, not a really low volume one. Protein overfeed. Protein overfeed. Over 200 grams, that's what I mean. None of this 1 gram per pound of body weight. Go ahead and kick it on up. I eat close to 300 grams every day. Kick the protein up. Do the conditioning like this. Real Metcon work. Resistance based. Do it at least twice a week. Do that for 6 months and tell me you don't strip down 15 pounds of body fat off without cutting. Without doing a real cut, or you're thinking of as a lower calorie diet. I promise you that you will. Particularly with the really high protein in the Metcon. You'd be really, really shocked at what happens. No, you're not violating the laws of thermodynamics. Before anyone asks and say calories in, calories out. No one is denying that. But it has to do with the way that you're directing all the calories, the thermic effect, the epoch, nutrient partitioning. Trust me on this, guys. And you'll see some of your loose skin start tightening up too as you lose the fat that's adhering to it. But yeah, guys, this was pretty tiring. Like, this was challenging. It's challenging. I enjoyed it, but it was challenging. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.